Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. It has been a giant year for crowdfunding, for Kickstarter, for GameFound, and for this channel. And yet, 2023 has the potential to be even bigger than this year has been. There are some massive titles that I cannot wait to share with you that are coming up. Some of the most exciting IP crossovers, some board games that have been in development for 6 years, and a board game that is kind of one company's magnus opus. At least that's what they're pining it as. So I'm going to be breaking down the games that are on the top of my list moving into 2023, and I am absolutely, just like last year, going to be sending this list around to every single publisher I talk about. And I want to say a thank you to all of those last year that left a comment down below letting me know which games you were the most excited for, because that helped publishers send us and get us involved so we could bring coverage and gameplay and bring you as much content as we could around the titles that we were excited about last year. Let's continue doing that into this year. And with that, let's go ahead and break down 2023's potentially biggest Kickstarters, GameFounds, crowdfunding games. And please keep this in mind. This list does skew towards the beginning part of the year because that's a lot of the stuff that's been announced. We'll probably do another mid-year update letting you know the stuff that's launched and letting you know the stuff that's coming in towards the last quarter. So this is kind of the next 6 months with a few things stretched out beyond that. But this is what we know so far. Starting at the top of my list, not the most anticipated, but starting up here at the top, we're going to be talking about Welded Iron. Now, Welded Iron is a game I don't actually know much about, but just from the incredible artwork here, I am engaged. I'm interested. The two core things that I know about this game is it's beautiful in this mechanical steampunk type of aesthetic, and it's a war game or a tower defense game where you can either play cooperative or you can play head-to-head against each other with the machines trying to dominate or destroy the last vestige of humanity. Welded Iron looks really, really cool. Any game company that's putting this much effort and energy into the artwork and the world and the lore and just the building and the design of it has my attention. And I'm a big fan of classic tower defense style games, and I haven't found many board games that do the tower defense in the way that I enjoy so much. So I'm hoping Welded Iron is going to be checking some of those boxes for me. Moving down to my number 2, a game that I was thinking was going to launch here in 2022, but they're still working and finalizing the design because they want to bring this to you, the audience, as completed and as perfect as possible. This is Rove. Rove is coming from a brand new indie publisher, AdX Games, and this is the publisher that made the massive Crimson Scales fan-made expansion for Gloomhaven. That's right. The thing where they could make literally no profit off of it because legally they cannot sell expansion content for a game, but still hired and commissioned the original artist from Gloomhaven to do all of the Crimson Scales. They did 2 waves of it and successfully delivered it to people who wanted to get their hands on it. Oh, holy cow. It is incredible. And Rove is their next love letter. It's their next story, and I cannot tell you just how excited. Early January, I'm going to be bringing extra content here to the channel. I just got my prototype in. I have played an older original prototype, and this is going to be a game that is playing in the Gloomhaven, Frosthaven world. But what it's doing in there is it's changing up a few systems. You're going to have a flip book that's going to allow you to explore through the environment a little bit quicker. You're going to have cards that lay out as a tableau in front of you. So instead of a hand of cards where you're playing 2 actions each, your whole tableau is actually going to be rotating and flipping. So combinations will be based upon the grid that you have in front of you. It's sort of tableau building in a way as you maximize and start manipulating your hand or your deck of cards, I suppose. And then along with that, instead of going to a frozen wasteland, instead of going to a forgotten city, you're stepping into an ethereal kind of alien planet. You're going back to nature. This is going to be like Avatar in some ways, where you're down here in a unrestrained and unexplored forest environment. Rove is going to be excellent. I cannot wait to bring you more coverage. I'm telling you, it should be on your radar. And along with that, if you can look at it, you can see the artwork is magnificent. They are commissioning the same artist who did all of the work originally for Gloomhaven and for Frosthaven to sit here. This is a love letter to those big titles. It is similar in the experience of play, but it is different in the application. It's different in some core mechanics that give it its own flavor and its own twist. Moving on from Rove, let's go ahead and talk about Defenders of the Wild. Now, this is a game that I saw at PAX and was immediately excited about. First off, look how adorable the artwork is, and second off, this is something that I'm paying attention to because of the two people behind it. This is going to be coming from the designer of Block by Block and published by the same company, and from the designer of Parks. So you take woodland creatures fighting mechanoid robots, you mix them into this tactical combat environment with two designers who have made games that I have absolutely adored, and yeah, we've got something here that's compelling. Now, Block by Block, I have not actually played it yet, so I suppose I should take away the I have absolutely adored. The community has told me so often how good that game system is that I purchased it at PAX and I will be playing it soon. But I'm very excited about this. Highly acclaimed designers, looks really, really adorable, and it's got my attention. It's going to be, I believe, either a cooperative or a head-to-head asymmetric skirmish game. I'm thinking something like Root in a way, but we'll see what it actually pans out to be when the time comes. My next one, you've seen the coverage here on the channel, and it is time to launch back and support Andromedas Edge, coming from Peter Vaughn and Luke Laurie over at Cardboard Alchemy. This game is a epic space Euro exploration type of game. It's going to be the sequel in a way, in homage to Dwellings of Eldervale, which was a worker placement Euro-style game that went scope beyond scope, had incredible inserts, a really, really accessible, beautiful artwork, and gameplay that was highly, highly compelling. If you like a solid Euro, Andromeda's Edge is playing in that sci-fi and that galaxy space with asymmetric factions and a lot of fantastic interaction and crunchy decision space there on the tableau or on the map in front of you. This is one you should absolutely be paying attention to. Panic Roll. Panic Roll is going to be swinging back around with another Townsfolk Tussle, except this is going to be a standard expansion for the core box. I believe there's going to be some core rules updates and other elements that they're bringing to the table as well, but Sprinkle Falls, forecast says, Brawls and Squalls from Sprinkle Falls, a Townsfolk Tussle expansion. We're already getting a little bit of the artwork for it. We're seeing new baddies that we're going to be facing off against. I know there's going to be a few new characters for you to play, and some core system updates. Like I said, I heard rumors that there was a merchant that was out of stock, and everything in Eureka Springs is going wrong. If you know anything about Townsfolk Tussle, this will be the next opportunity to get it, since it's been so hard to get your hands on. And then on top of that, this is going to be a fantastic way to support an indie publishing group that is doing some amazing, amazing work. Moving on. The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. This is going to be coming from Chip Theory Games and Bethesda. This is very similar in some ways to Too Many Bones, but you're actually going to have a grid and a map that you're interacting, moving, and fighting on. So this is a story-driven, this is an open exploration. This is a homage to Too Many Bones in a lot of ways, while setting into the Elder Scrolls universe. But then on top of that, you get that crunchy dice rolling, chip placing gameplay, right? When you have a handful of just cool powers and abilities, and everything starts growing and chaining as you unlock new abilities and grow your characters. Really excited to see what they come up with here. I know this has been a long process in the works. I know they have been doing everything they can to make this as perfect as possible, and I cannot wait to see it launched. Moving on, Dante, the Invasion of Hell. Yeah, based off of the Dante's Inferno, the poem. What is the poem? Comment down below. Let me know the poem that I'm blanking on right now. But you go through that gate. I went to Paris once and saw the gate that you journey through as you journey through the 7 layers of hell. And this is going to be based off of that. Now, the reason I'm so compelled by this, I'll reference my note here, this is coming from the same publisher that created the Chronicles of Drunagor, which was one of the most compelling campaign-based games that I played. I think it was just this last year that I played it. It might have been the year before. I have to narrow down when I've played things. We play through so many things, but Chronicles of Durnagor was extremely good. I'm excited for the next wave of that to be coming in, and Dante is their next thing that they're releasing. And if you know me, I like grimdark. I like I grew up on like the Dante the video game, Dante's Inferno the video game, where you're journeying through and seeing all of these macabre stories of people who lived their life in a way that left them in this damned place. And if they're able to do that at all, if they're able to play with those tropes, if they're able to tell that story, I am there, I am there, I am there. Dying Light from Techland and Cardboard Alchemy. Like I said, some of the biggest IPs are still yet to come, and this is one of them. I played through all of the original Dying Light. I have not played Dying Light 2 yet. I should. I really should. I love zombie-based video games. It's just one of those sweet spots for me. A post-apocalyptic world, scrapping together and making things. I'm really interested to see how they work with the day and night cycle here. I'm interested to see how the campaign progresses, especially as you start unlocking different parts of the city and as that threat grows. I'm really interested to see exactly how they mix in the feeling of parkour, the feeling of adventure, but they've done an amazing job with Frostpunk. We have it in, we're playing through it, we're bringing content here to the channel, and Dying Light should be on your list. If you're a fan of the video game at all, I trust Glass Cannon to deliver on something special. Cannot wait for that. The Last of Us. Simon is putting out The Last of Us board game. Holy cow, right? I love story-driven adventure. I have a tattoo from The Last of Us. It's a rat with a quote from the book The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which says, where men can't fare, where men can't live, gods fare no better. And this is, I hope, going to be the next big campaign game for me. The moment this shows up, I cannot wait to sink my teeth into it. First off, Simon, whatever you think about them, knows how to execute on miniatures, knows how to execute on IPs, knows how to deliver an amazing giant experience. They have no reason and they have no ambition to hold anything back. And so if any company is going to be taking the scale of story and the scale of adventure that Naughty Dog gave us with The Last of Us, it's going to be Cool Mini or not. Ivy Studios. We're talking Mythic Mischief, we're talking Moonrakers, we're talking Veiled Fate, some of the best produced, some high-ranking, incredibly well-produced board games. This is a company that loves and has gone out of their way to support their community time and time again. A company that released a free digital expansion, an app that turned Moonrakers from a competitive game to a cooperative game to everyone that owned the game already when they launched their last Kickstarter, which was the Moonrakers Big Box and 3 other expansions. I can't wait for this. And Fractured Sky is coming April 2023. I don't have lots of information here on Fractured Sky. I do know that it's going to be a bit of... It's going to be a bit of an area control style game in application, but you're going to be bidding for that area. You're going to be bidding for the areas that you're trying to nail down and control. They were advertising it a little bit at PAX Unplugged this year, and so I got to talk with them there, and I stole some graphics from them, but you should have this on your list. I wish I had a landing page or anything. I'm going to send you over to the Ivy Studios page. Just get involved with their community. This is a company that is knocking it out of the park, and Fractured Sky, I cannot wait to demo it. Spiritfire. Holy cow. Spiritfire coming from ONEB, Orange Nebula. We're talking Unsettled, right? We're talking Vindication, right? Again, another company that is a small team that does ambitious things just like Ivy Studios. Orange Nebula is going to be producing what they are calling their Magnus Opus. And I don't even really know what it is. They haven't released a lot of information yet. They released one trailer, one commercial. You can go watch it on BGG. I'll give you a link to that as well. And it has me excited. It has me compelled. But I'm not compelled because I know a lot about this game. I'm compelled because Orange Nebula has never done wrong yet. They've never turned me away. I know the quality they put into their work. I know how they care about their fan community. Anyone that's part of the ONEB team understands that. Anyone that's played their games or dealt with their customer service or been involved in their campaigns understands that this is a journey you do not want to miss. If you enjoy the feeling of backing a Kickstarter project and being part of someone who is helping things be created, if you enjoy the journey you get to go on with the creator as you develop and design and customize the game. I mean, look what they did with Unsettled during this last campaign. They gave the audience direct control over different modules that ended up being developed and are on their way to people. This is a company you want to be involved with if you want that part of this hobby, if you want that part of this community at all. And if they're saying Spiritfire is their magnum opus, I'm saying I want to scream about it soon. And my number one, the one that I'm the most compelled by, is Transhumanity from Mind Clash Games, a game that, as far as I can tell from BGG, has potentially been in the development stage or thought process of the Mind Clash team for about 6 years, it seems like. This is Mind Clash Games' first, as far as I'm aware, this will be their first cooperative, campaign-driven game, where you're slowly transforming into an AI hybrid and making decisions between whether or not you want to explore down a body modification route or stay in your human self, and there's consequences to both. It is based off of a book series, I believe, called Transhumanity or something along those lines, so it is an IP in its own right, and it has world and lore that it's building off of. But Mind Clash Games is one of those companies that, again, I pay attention to, and I'm there for everything they're putting out. And the exciting part for me is this: if this comes out, this will be a game that is created by a publisher who already does things I love: insane production, insane artwork, insane graphics. And it'll be a cooperative, campaign-driven game from that publisher, the first they've attempted. For me, that is so exciting. I cannot wait to see what the designers and the creators over there at the Mind Clash team come up with, what weird, twisted adventures they're willing to send us on, and what consequences they're willing to have. I mean, have you opened up the Anachrony Big Box, or seen Cerebria, or taken a look at the Septima page? The amount of lore that's dripping from those Euro games is palpable. Anachrony has this flip book where you can read the lore of every single location. Every piece of artwork that was placed on that board has an explanation. Every science division has a background as to why their mechs work the way they do, or how they survived the apocalypse that happened to the Earth. That alone brings me into a Euro game. Imagine what they can do with that amount of passion. Imagine what they can do in Transhumanity when we're talking about a cooperative campaign game, when they're given permission to just tell a story. I'm so stoked. So that's my list. That's my breakdown of the most exciting campaigns, the things that I'm the most passionate about moving into this next year. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be covering. There's a lot of stuff I'm excited to cover. I am sure I have missed, ignored, left off this list in a dozen ways. Let me know what you're the most excited about. If we see a comment that is getting a lot of engagement, or the same game multiple times, we'll be sure to reach out to that publisher and let them know that our community wants to see what we have to say about it. We always bring you as much and as thorough of content as we can. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We have a lot of list videos hitting this week, so please remember to hit that subscribe button, and whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. See you next time. Thank you.